Much love and appreciation, family. So, for all of the brand new men's and women's shirts that you see and the limited edition sneakers that you see here, please visit the comment and or the description below the video. Hey, how you doing? This is Sejihito here to bring you the news. So I just wanted to bring up the story to further push the narrative of what I've been saying about the justice or quote unquote justice in America and how the justice system is not just. That a lot of black men are locked up for lifetimes for crimes that basically require either a slap on the wrist or a minimal penalty. So here we go. Black man serves 35 years in prison for a $50 robbery. The failures of the nation's justice system were highlighted this week after a judge resentenced a man who had been serving life in prison without a chance of parole for a $50.75 bakery robbery. Under Alabama's Habitual Felony Act, the then 22-year-old Kennard was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. When he was 18, Kennard had been charged with burglary, grand larceny, and receiving stolen property in connection with a break-in at an unoccupied service station. He pled guilty to 3 counts of secondary burglary for a crime in 1979 and was given a suspended sentence of 3 years on probation. The prior crime, which were not a Class A felonies, led to his sentence under the Habitual Felony Act in 1984. While the 3 strikes law has been changed to allow fourth-time offenders the possibility of parole, it has no retroactive effect on those already imprisoned under it. Kennard's up-and-coming freedom is instead thanks to Carpenter noticing the case. Carla Crowder, Kennard's attorney, told the news outlet, quote, "This was a judge that kind of went out of his way." This case drew the attention of acclaimed filmmaker Ava DuVernay, who stated, "Bless Alvin Kennard. Everyone in this country should be ashamed of the system we allow." DuVernay's comments came in response to a thread from Birmingham, Alabama-based journalist Beth Shelbourne, in which she called the previous 3 acts law merciless. Quote, "It was extraordinary to see this wrongdoing made right, but it only happened because the right system actors were in place. I hope Alabama leaders have the courage to grant the same chances to the 500 plus others like Alvin who remain locked up with no hope of release." While welcoming Kennard's up-and-coming release, Crowder stated, "We know that there are hundreds of similar situated incarcerated people in the state who don't have any attorneys, who don't have a voice. As this state grapples with the Department of Justice involvement and unconstitutional prisons, I hope our lawmakers, our courts, and our governor would do more to address these injustices." Kennard, for his part, said in court Wednesday, quote, "I just want to say that I'm sorry for what I did. I take responsibility for what I did in the past, and I want the opportunity to get it right." Now I'm going to read to you from an article that I did a story on back when I was, in community college, because yet again, a lot of people did not know about this story. And I found out about this story closer to about 2006, maybe 2006, somewhere in there, I forgot. So here we go. Bayer admits it paid millions in HIV infected cases. To read the English-speaking media, you'll never know that Bayer just paid tens of millions of dollars to end a 3 decades-long scandal in which the company sold HIV-contaminated blood products to hemophiliacs, thousands of whom later died of AIDS. Ironically, Bayer's new hemophiliac iPhone app got some new coverage, as did Bayer's hemophilia research grant to the University of Florida. But you have to pick through a French and Italian news media to find out that Bayer is finally writing checks to people who got AIDS because in the 1980s, the Qatar biological unit of Bayer ignored federal law to recruit prisoners, intravenous drug users, and high-risk gay men as donors of the blood Qatar then used to make factor 8 and 9, the clotting product that hemophiliacs need in order to not bleed to death. The German group Bayer and 3 other labs will pay tens of millions of euros to hemophiliacs who accuse them of having sold in the 1980s blood products contaminated with HIV. The figure of tens of millions of euros in compensation is not totally wrong. Bayer and the US company Baxter are the two main parties to the agreement. A company spokesperson stated, however, the company accepts no responsibility in this case and continues to insist that it has always acted responsibly and ethically. The reason why there have been no reports is that the hemophiliacs and their lawyers were not allowed to talk about the settlement. I haven't seen any newspapers from the US reporting on this issue. Not even the hemophiliac community published a statement, which I think is strange. I mean, 50 million is not nothing. And this is the largest settlement on the HIV slash hemophiliac issue for more than 10 years. And 2 US law firms negotiated it. In 1997, Bayer paid out 300 million into a compensation fund for hemophiliacs with HIV. About 20,000 patients contracted HIV from the blood. Something else that I wanted to add in that I forgot about. When Bayer was unable to sell their Factor 8 in the US, the FDA allowed Bayer to pack it all up and sell it in Argentina, Indonesia, Japan, Malaysia, and Singapore after February of 1984.
To the show. We appreciate you being on tonight.
Thanks for the invitation, Joe.
Okay, let's talk about the rat of the week. Why is Bayer Corporation the rat of the week?
Internal documents show that after this company positively, absolutely knew that they had a medication that was infected with the AIDS virus, they took the product off the market in the U.S. and then they dumped it in France, Europe, Asia, and Latin America. The medicine's called Factor 8. It was an injection medicine that was used for hemophiliacs, mostly children. Children had been born with an incurable disease.
Hold on, Mike. So hold on. So you're telling me that Bayer knew that this drug was infected with the AIDS virus. They yanked it from the market in America, and then they dumped it in markets overseas?
They had to figure out a way, Joe, to make a profit on a product that they could not sell in America. So they made a huge profit. They dropped the product in Japan, Spain, and France. By the way, Joe, government officials in France that allowed that to happen actually had to go to prison for it. In America, not one corporate executive for this company has been indicted or even criminally investigated by our Justice Department.
Why not? You're telling me that these people that dumped this AIDS-tainted blood in foreign countries, who killed children, have not been taken to task in the United States?
It's worse than that. The U.S. government allowed it to happen. The FDA allowed this to happen. And now the government is completely looking the other way. Thousands of innocent hemophiliacs have died from the AIDS virus. And not only they're dying, their family members are dying because they're becoming infected with the disease. This company knew absolutely that they had a problem with the product. They knew that it was infected with AIDS. They dumped it because they wanted to turn this disaster into a profit.
Mike, I want to read to you what Bayer told the New York Times about this scandal. They said Bayer behaved responsibly, ethically, and humanely. Decisions made nearly 2 decades ago were based on the best scientific information of the time and were consistent with the regulations in place. That sounds like a lot of legal mumbo-jumbo. Now, you say you have internal documents that show that they knew that this drug they were dumping was tainted with the AIDS drug? Or the AIDS virus?
The documents show that there was no question that this company absolutely understood the risk, that they knew that it was contaminated. It wasn't a possibility. They knew it was contaminated. Americans were dying from the product before it was pulled off the market. The only reason it was pulled off the market is because lawyers found the documents and showed it to the government, and finally the government said, you can't sell it here, but then the government allowed them to dump it in Spain, France, and Japan.
That's amazing. That's just amazing.
Well,
I want to read to you what the New York Times said, and this is an investigation that they also did, and they said the federal government was part of the problem. While the Food and Drug Administration told the company not to ship the drugs overseas, the man responsible for the drug supply, quote, asked that the issue be quietly solved without alerting the Congress, the medical community, and the public. This is a cover-up, and our Congress is not doing anything. What should Americans do?
So Now you have all the information. And I guess the question I have for anybody that can hear my voice, which one is worse? Which one should you actually go to, jail or prison for and serve a lifetime sentence for? Should you go to jail for, stealing $50, worth of, bakery goods? Or should you go to jail and serve a prison sentence and also be shut down because you not only sold HIV infected medication in the US, you were then allowed to package up that same medication and ship it to several other places around the world and continuing to both profit and also infect people with HIV? Which one is worse? Because I'm pretty sure that a lot of people probably stopped at a portion of the video and they only wanted to focus on the fact of the black man stealing something, and they were like, well, if you don't, do the crime, you won't do the time. Ha 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 ha. You normally have people, like that. But this is when I go to a further extent when I state to people that in the day and age in which we live, and this took place back in the 80s, just think of what they're putting in the food and in your medication and things like that now. We don't know at all what any of the things, like for instance, bottled water. You don't know what's in the bottled water at all. None at all. It was recently I did a story before I did a food recall video where it was some bottled water that was pulled back because I think it was contaminated with E. coli or something. It was something bad that can either make somebody severely ill or kill them, right? And both on the Target website on Facebook and on the Amazon website on Facebook, none of them listed to their consumers at that time that the story broke that, hey, we're doing a recall on this water and, we need you guys to either bring it back or to pour it out. At that time, they were still pushing that water both on Amazon and on the Target website. So, I try to make people, understand that no matter all the things that are going on, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's still a lot of stuff that we don't know. You have your government, which you feel has your best interests, but they really don't. This story fully shows that in two different lights. One, the injustice which happened to a black man for stealing $50 worth of baked goods. And then the second, which is Bayer and the FDA, the US government, allowing Bayer to sell their medication here, pack it up, and then continue to sell it all over the world, killing kids, infecting kids, breaking apart families, and being able to profit off of all of that and their deaths. So, like I said, I don't know what else to tell you guys. I don't. I really don't. You just got to be careful in everything that you put in your body, and even still, no matter how much research that you do, you still don't really know at the end of the day what you're putting in your body, because at the end of the day, we're putting our trust and our faith into people that we don't see or know, into business entities whose only goal is self-preservation and to profit off of whatever happens. Even if it's negative publicity, they're still going to get their money at the end of the day. So let me know what you guys think about this video, and hopefully it doesn't get listed or banned on YouTube. So let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment section below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.